The President of Ukraine, ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be Vice President.
Another embarrassing blunder by a genocide Joe Biden, but this one a pretty major one. When introducing President Zelensky of Ukraine, he referred to Zelensky as Putin.
I want to hand it over to the President of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
If this was just one major error, you could maybe put it to one side, but this is now just the latest major error by Joe Biden. Just recently, we saw him refer to himself as the first black woman to serve under a black president.
By the way, I'm proud to be, as I said, the first vice president, first black woman to serve with a black president.
We've seen him refer, to Vice President Trump.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be Vice President, so I think she was not qualified to be President.
We've seen him confuse the role of Chief of Staff with Commander-in-Chief, seeming to forget that he's the Commander-in-Chief.
Following the advice of my Commander-in-Chief, the Chief of Staff of the military.
This is a man who at times looks completely spaced out, doesn't know where he is, can't find the door. We've seen him at major international events having to be led and shown the door and propped up by other heads of state, almost like this kind of grotesque sort of Weekend at Bernie's scenario. And what's interesting now is that for months and months and months, if not longer, Democrats have dismissed questions about Biden's competency as right-wing conspiracy theory talking points. And yet now this is the conversation raging in major Democrat circles. Now, over the months, Joe Biden is only going to get worse and worse and worse. There's no running away from this question. So we're going to see what the Democrats are going to do. Some are digging their heels in, but apparently even some of Biden's aides are now trying to persuade Biden and his family to, make Biden step aside. The question would be who replaces Biden and when. Biden cannot even read a teleprompter.
4 more years. Pause.
We've seen numerous times him struggling to read the teleprompter, reading out the instructions on the teleprompter. It's just getting beyond embarrassing and undignified at this point. But even putting all of that aside for a moment, if we can, the reality is that in around 5, 6, 7 key swing states, places like Michigan, Joe Biden is losing massive support or has lost it completely among Muslim and Arab voters over issues like Gaza. He's losing support among many voter bases. He's always relied on black voters, for example. So it's really hard to see any scenario in which Joe Biden beats Donald Trump. Donald Trump, we know about Donald Trump. He's just a serial, pathological liar. His record is clear. This is a terrible choice, a terrible conundrum for Americans to be in. This is like almost way beyond even the lesser of two evils. But the big question now is, at what point do the Democrats face reality with Joe Biden? Who can beat Donald Trump? This is the debate that's raging, and we'll see ultimately what the Democrats do in the leading months leading up to November.